of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. He's host of The Fallen State, which I visited the studio when I was in Los Angeles. And Jesse, are you a pastor as well? Do I recall that correctly? Are you a Christian pastor?
I am, yes.
You are. And what denomination?
Non-denominational Christian.
Okay. And I remember that your studio in LA, people may find this interesting. Is it also some kind of Christian counseling center? Do I remember that correctly, where you counsel young men?
Yeah, but not in the studio. I have my offices upstairs, and so we counsel in-house and by Skype or telephone or by phone, whichever is easy for the folks.
That's fascinating. And so now you're not like a therapist, right? You're not a social worker or a psychologist or anything like that.
No, just a counselor.
Okay, and that's in California, that's an unregulated credential, right? Anybody can use that term.
Well, you have to be a minister or a pastor or something like that, and you can do counseling under the head of your ministry.
Wow, and that insurance doesn't cover that, right?
It does.
It does. In California,
Oh, yeah.
You can go to a counselor who's just a minister, and it's considered a medical visit?
100%. As a matter of fact, it's better that you come to me than the people with the degrees.
Well, that's an opinion. That's an opinion, but I'm concerned with the legal piece.
If you notice, and by the way, we are friends, David. Even though I had to throw you off one day, we still friends. Sometimes I throw my friends off.
Okay, fair.
But it's better that you come to me than a person with a degree, because if you notice, the educated people are dumb. They have no sense.
I've not noticed that. I've not noticed that.
And they end up giving the people just before the people run out of money, they give them medication because the therapists, the trained therapists and counselors, psychologists and psychiatrists have no common sense.
Well, but a lot of the people you just mentioned, can't even prescribe medication. So psychologists don't prescribe, neither do social workers. So what you're saying, you know it's not true, right?
Well, what I'm saying is that people with degrees are dummies. They have no common sense. They're just repeated what someone told them.
I gotcha. All right. Now I understand, because the first thing you said is literally impossible because they can't prescribe. But
I'm
listen,
glad
Jesse,
to hear that.
You're glad to hear that. Good. And you can't prescribe. You're not prescribing anything, I'm guessing.
No.
No. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So listen, Jesse, we're on the precipice here of an election, and the reason I wanted to talk to you is to figure out because you're such a master of policy, economics and trade and all of these things. I wanted to figure out where you are on Trump and policy. So just to begin with, I mean, you approve of the job the president is doing, right?
He's done an amazing job thus far, in spite of the children of the lie.
Yeah.
And the children of the lie, the liberal media, the Democratic Party, the never Trumpers, the right-o Republicans, the black race hustlers, and the radical homosexuals. They have been against him, and our enemies overseas as well. But in spite of that, he's done an amazing job. So 4 more years of the great white hope.
Yeah. And when you talk about the job that Trump has done, just to pick something to really dig into and make this, I want to take the interview seriously, and, hopefully it won't devolve the way some of the prior interviews have. Let's take economics and taxation, for example. Do you like the Trump tax plan? And if so, what do you like about it?
Well, thus far, I like the fact that he has cut back on taxes. He's giving more money to the workers rather than taking it. I like the fact that he has made it easier for small businesses to get going. Even though we have a Chinese virus situation right now, so the economy has stopped a little bit, but it's starting to come back. And due to the tax cuts and regulations,
but let's pick something. Let's pick one thing. What has Trump done to make it easier for businesses to get going?
By cutting back on so many rules and regulations that the Democrat had established.
Like what? What's an example of such a rule?
I don't have anything in mind right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of the rules and regulations that was preventing small businesses from starting have been taken away by the Great White Hope.
What would be? So give me I know that there's dozens and dozens, but what's one such rule that was taken away that now makes it easier to start a business?
Nothing come to mind right now.
Is there anything that you can remember even seeing at any time?
Nothing come to mind at
Nothing.
This time.
Wow.
No.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's stick with economics just for a moment. What do you think the top marginal tax rate should be for top earners?
Good question, man. I don't know. I haven't thought about it at this point.
Is it too high or too low currently?
So we know.
I'm sorry?
What did you say? Your phone went out for a minute. What did you say?
I said, do you think the current top marginal tax rate is too high or too low?
I'm not sure at this time, David.
You're not sure. So,
No.
how do you know that Trump's tax plan is good if you don't even know what tax rates are and how he changed them?
Well, because I have not been focusing on that lately. I have more important things to think about and
Okay.
do. That has not been one of my primary focus at this point.
All right, well, let's take a different topic then. Donald Trump made a huge deal during the campaign in 2016 and now about trade with China, trade with Mexico and Canada. Do you believe that Donald Trump has fulfilled his campaign promises on trade, or do you believe he has fallen short?
He has not fallen short, but he has not completed them at this time. That's why we have to. One of the reasons, but not the only, that we have to do 4 more years
Yeah.
so he can finalize the trade deals that he is working on.
What would you like to
And also
see him do on trade that he's not yet done?
to make sure that America is being treated fairly in trade deals and that we're not giving away or being used as we have been in the past in those ways.
Interesting. So, Donald Trump yesterday at his rally said that he fixed China, that now China has to treat us fairly because he fixed it. And he says that he fixed Canada and Mexico with USMCA, so they're now treating us fairly. So, who's left that's not treating us fairly on trade?
Did he mention that yesterday? I didn't hear that at all.
It was either yesterday or, I mean, the
Maybe
rallies are blending together. Maybe it was the
did
day
he
before.
did he say who was left that he has to deal with?
No, I'm asking you, who do you
I
think
have
is
no
still
idea.
treating us
You
unfair?
need to call the White House
Yeah.
spokesperson, and they